Jai Sri Krishna. Today we will wind down chapter 3. Um, so we'll see what we covered last time. Last time we saw that the role which is played by one's swabhav in their karma. What is the role that swabhav plays in each of our karma? All of us have gone through many births as humans. In each one of those lives, we perform different karma. These karma gave rise to our swabhav or our nature, also called our prakriti. Since no two people have same nature, we all have differences in our likes and dislikes. And in the present life, we all act according to our likes and dislikes. We like to do certain things, we just don't like to do other things. So we do more of what we like to do and stay away from what we don't like to do. Getting up early in the morning, people want to stay away from it. So all our karma can be classified in two groups. Karma in group 1 leads one to their downfall and eventually to hell. And the karma of the other group leads us to rise above the sansar and towards moksha. So there are two limits in this sansar. One is eternal hell or nitya narak, and the other one is moksha. They are two completely opposite to each other, and they are the limits as far as the jeev can travel and go. There are many variations in karma in both groups. In Shlok 33, Bhagavan said that one should make effort according to their swabhav, which is also called nature or prakriti. So one should act within his swabhav, not try to emulate somebody else's nature. For anything to happen, there has to be a karma. Without karma, nothing happens. And for karma to happen, we need power. Without power, if there is no electricity in the house, you flip the switch, nothing will happen. But you have to have that power. All that power for karma comes from Devata. Now, take for example, our mind, somebody's mind says, I want to look at this thing, whatever it is. So the first thing happened is, in their mind, a desire arose to look at something. That's the start of the karma. Then they made effort to find where they can see it, that thing. And when they found it, they started to look at it, right? What is the part that looked at? It's the eyes that looked at, not the mind. And eyes have the power to look. If eyes do not have that power, which facilitates looking at certain things, you cannot see, you cannot look. And looking doesn't mean that you saw it. There's a difference in looking and seeing. You look at something, take for example, a knife. We have defined what knife is. So when we look at the object, we call it a knife. We don't know whether it's a knife or not. Only reason we say is because in the past, in our data bank, in our mind, it says, if this thing looks like this must be knife. We didn't see it. We just use the data in our mind to interpret that this is knife. So knife has a handle, knife has a blade, right? But we shave every day. When we shave, why don't we call that as knife? It has a handle, it has got blades. Nowadays it has got 4 blades. So we don't call it a knife, we call it a razor blade, correct? So what is correct name for it? It's all which is in our mind. We decided this is what is knife is and this is what a razor is, correct? Now, if you look at if somebody looking at 4 people looking at a knife, for example, one of them makes knives. So his sight looking at that knife is going to concentrate on what is the beauty of that knife, how it is made. Other person may be a butcher. He looks at the knife, how well he can slice. A third person may be a collector of knives. He looks at that knife with the idea how valuable it is. Is it an antique knife or what is it? Maybe it'll fetch more money later on. So he's a collector. So it depends how we look at things, right? And that all depends on our sabhav, what our sabhav is. Correct? Understand now? So our sabhav is different because we all have done all kind of different karma in our past lives. And that has made our sabhav, our prakriti. And that's how we act. And that's how we see at things. Right? We look at things, not see. We look at things. We don't really see what is truly there. Mind gets the signal when the eyes look at certain thing. They look and they send the signal to the mind, and mind says, this is what it is. That's it. What it actually is, we don't know. Right? And that's how this whole world runs. So, karma is so critical. This is all karma. Without karma, there is nothing. Nothing will exist without karma. Because this creation came about through karma. And the creation will end through karma. In the middle, we are living, we are taking birth, it's all karma. So karma is very important. So the knowledge of karma is critical for our existence and our upliftment in the sansar. So there are 2 kind of groups of karma, one which will take us down below and other one which rise above sansar and go to moksha. Even the jnani knows that this action is right action or this action is not right action. And what he should do within his prakriti. He knows his prakriti, so how should he act? Jnani does know that. That's the role of jnana. This applies to one's entire life. Okay? And one should not try to emulate others' nature and according to that. Is definitely formula for failure. Therefore, one needs to identify their prakriti and live their lives according to their varna dharma. Varna means whatever varna the profession is. Varna dharma. Brahma, Kshatri, Vaishya, Shudra, whatever varna is. People in the Western society do get trained and follow their natural abilities. That's what Westerns do. And that's why they are successful in the world. This is lacking in the Indian society, where people tend to copy other people. This is reiterated in 35th shlok by Bhagavan. He says that even if your natural dharma cannot take you higher up quickly due to imperfection in it, you must follow your own natural dharma. It may be imperfect, but that's the only way you have to rise above. So stay with it. It is better to die doing this. What does that mean? Meaning that you may not become a sannyasi. You should make effort to change your nature while living and acting within your prakriti dharma. You can make changes, we all can make changes, living our lives according to our prakriti dharma. We can always make changes and change our prakriti. Here Bhagavan is telling this to Arjun since he wanted to leave his karma and become a sannyasi. Having heard all this, a question arises in Arjun's mind. So,
Arjuna uvacha अथ केन प्रयुक्तोऽयम् पापं चरति पूरुषः अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय बलादिव नियोजितः.
Arjun asks, O Varshane, here he using the word Varshane to address Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Impelled by what this man commits sin, though against his wishes. He doesn't want to do it, but he does it against his wishes. As it were by force, he was forced to do it. Is there a power which forces one to commit sinful act when he knows that it is sin? Now, when in Duryodhan Sabha, Draupadi was derobed, they were attempting to derobe Draupadi. Everybody there knew this was wrong thing to do. But none of them stood up against it. They kept on, they went with this flow. So Arjun asked, why is it that people knowing that this is sin, this is wrong, why people do certain acts? Here we'll take example of a king. A king rules over his kingdom. But if another one conquers this king, the king becomes helpless. He cannot do anything. He has to follow the other one who has conquered him. Similarly, in the human body, the Atma is the king and instigates the actions performed by the body. That's what Atma does. Now, is there a power which overcomes the Atma and Atma becomes unable to exercise the control? That's what the question is. Is there a power that can, just like an outside power came in and conquered the king? Arjun is saying that even when a person has jnana, why he commits sin? As if someone is holding a gun to his head and telling him to do this. In Mahabharata, Vyas had defined sinful and virtuous act as following. Any action performed while hiding from the society is sin. An action performed openly is virtuous action. In other words, if one is afraid to do something, it is sinful. For him it is sinful. He is afraid of doing it. As said in Shloka 35, following this dharma of another, if fraught, the other person that is fraught with fear, is full of fear. If you follow somebody else's dharma, you are be completely overtaken by fear. You'll be afraid because it's not your dharma. Arjun wants to know about this power. What is this power which forces one to commit an act which he knows is wrong and does not want to commit? So Bhagavan replies to Arjun.
श्रीभगवानुवाच काम एषः क्रोध एषः रजो गुणसमुद्भवः महाशनो महापाप्मा विद्येनमिह वैरिणम्.
Kam eshu krodh eshu. It is desire, it is anger born out of rajogun. There is a great craving of great sin. Know this as the foe in this sansar. In this sansar, these are the foes born out of rajogun. Bhagavan says that Kam eshu krodh eshu rajogun samadhava. The desire and anger are born of the rajogun. Now, here we have to understand, every jeev have a quality called sarvadhikaratva. The sarvadhikaratva of jeev is in rajogun. That's where sarvadhikar is, in rajogun. To move forward, to do certain things, move ahead. That's what rajogun does. The rajogun is born in jeev through its dependence on avidya, ignorance. As rajogun increases in jeev, both kam and krodh increase manifold. More one fulfills the kam or the desire, by satisfying it, more it grows. It just keeps growing. It is like putting a flammable product in a fire. When the desire is not fulfilled, the anger develops. After identifying the forces, Bhagavan characterizes them by saying, Mahashano Mahapapa. These are of great craving. They have so much hunger, they want to more and more and more. And appetite, such appetite is just too much of it. They have a lot of appetite for these things. They want more. Great sin, Mahapapya, is full of great sin. In this world, know these as foe. Foe cannot be friend. So it is nothing else but the desire which has become a vasana that must do it in us, which causes this. And these are born out of rajogun, which is characterized as the nature of passion, giving rise to thirst and attachment. It quickly binds the embodied Atma by attachment to action. This is what Bhagavan has said in chapter 14, Shlok 7. So if the desire becomes vasana, and for whatever reason one lets it grow, by satisfying it, one will get tied up in the bondage of karma. So, example I can give is, a child wants to get something so badly, and the parents know it's not good for him. But if they just give him that object to appease him, he wants more later on. This is what they call nip it in the bud. Don't let it get started even. Once you let it start, it has a life of its own, it grows. And since by its nature it has great thirst, if one gets started on this path, it keeps going deeper and deeper into sin. Since kam leading to anger is sinful, that's why it gets deeper and deeper into sin. This progressively makes the jeev weaker, and eventually jeev succumbs to those forces which lead him to hell. That's how it happens. So kam is the enemy of jeev in this sansar. all that happens in sansar is due to Kam. So if Kam is our enemy, we should leave it. On this topic, Bhagavan says something, has got something to say to us. In the creation, the driving force was Kam. That's how creation started. In Rig Veda, Mandal 10, Sukt 129 is called Nasadiya Sukt. In fourth slok, it is said, Kamastagre Samavartadi Manaso Reta Prathama Yadasit Sato Bandhu Masanti Nirvindana Hradi Pratishya Kavyo Manisha. Says, first of all, Kam was born in the mind of the Creator. What was this desire? I am one and should become many. Ekoham bahusyami. This has been interpreted differently by many. The correct meaning here is that Maya divided itself into many and paired each part with each Jeev. Thus they became each other's bandhu. Sato bandhu masanti. They became each friend of each other. This was how this sansar moved forward, one helping the other. So within us, that's why in Upanishad they say there are two birds sitting on a tree. One eats the fruit of the tree, other one only watches the other one eat the fruit of the tree. So here are these two, and they are like bandhu, they are just like each other. And that's how the sansar, Jeev in sansar comes and goes and keeps working. Thus it was the desire or Kam which became the reason for the creation. Hradi Pratishya Kavyo Manisha. The Jnani knows this, that Kam is what started the creation. Now a question arises, that is Kam always the foe of humans? As said in Slok 37. No. Since those who became Jnani also were born out of Kam. If the Kam was not there, Jnani Purush will not be born. They will not come in this world. So if we will completely destroy Kam, the whole creation will come to an end. Nothing will happen. So on one side, Bhagavan says that Kam is your foe. And in chapter 6, he says that those who become Yog Bhrasht, those who are making effort to get to moksha and could not finish their charya, they could not finish their actions in this life, they take birth in another life. In another life, they take birth in some pious family. They are born to a family of pious people where they continue their effort from where they left it in the past. So Bhagavan is telling us as to how it is that Kam is a foe. So Kam is a foe, but Kam is necessary also. Otherwise, the Yog Bhrasht person would not have the chance to come back and finish his Yog. So in next Shlok, Bhagavan is telling how is it that Kam is
Vriyate vanhihi yatha darsho malena cha yathol benavruto garbha tatha tene damavrutam.
Dhume na vriyate. Here Bhagavan gives 3 examples. As fire is enveloped by the smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, and as a fetus is covered in a sack. So this, the Gyan, is covered by it, meaning Kam. And next slok.
Avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina kamarupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha.
O Arjun, Gyan stands covered up by this, the calm, as the eternal foe of the wise. The desire is insatiable, like we talked about before, got great appetite. So the calm covers up Gyan of the Jeev. So when the Atma is surrounded by calm, then it is, the calm is eternal foe of the Jeev and the Gyan. So calm is so powerful that it creates vasana in the mind of the Jnani even, and thus exercises control on the Antahkaran, which in turn destroys the discriminating power of the Jnani, of the mind. And the Jnani ends up doing what he is not supposed to do. That's what calm does. Bhagavan gave 3 examples. How does calm do it? In Shlok 38, to explain how 3 gunas work. Each one of the examples relate to one of the gunas. These are 3 stages of clouding the Gyan. This is how Gyan is covered up. The first stage is Sattvic, where smoke covers the fire. That is Satogun. So in Satogun also, it covers the Gyan. Here, the rise of a slight wind of discrimination dispels the smoke of desire. So it's very easy to get rid of it because little wind of discrimination, little wind of Gyan, and the smoke disappears and fire is open. The second stage is Rajogun. The removal of dust from the mirror takes more time and more effort. You don't want to scratch the mirror. See? It takes a lot of careful action and a lot of time. It takes more time. While the third is Tamas. It takes much longer time. So for whatever, like Bhagavan said, like the embryo is in the sac, in the womb, it takes 9 months or so for it to come out of there. It takes longer time. So whatever duration calm covers the Gyan, for whatever duration the Gyan is covered up, a person falls from grace for that duration. It's not that forever. For that duration, falls from grace. And it can happen, but doesn't happen forever. Therefore, one should avoid calm while he is following the path of Gyan, because that can become his foe. While you're following path of Gyan, calm can become a foe. And Bhagavan said in how many ways it can become a foe. The calm is of 2 types. One is controlled and other one is uncontrolled. The former is the calm in the householder stage of one's life. In the next slok, Bhagavan is telling us to where does calm reside. The uncontrolled calm really take everybody down. It's not gonna. But the controlled calm is in the householder stage, grahasthashram. So Bhagavan is saying, now where does this calm reside in us? We know it causes problem, but where does it reside? Where should we find it? So for that Bhagavan says,
Indriyani mano buddhihi asyadhisthanamuchyate एतैर्विमोहयत्येष ज्ञानमावृत्य देहिनम्.
Indriya, senses, mind, and buddhi, the intellect, are said to be its abode of calm. Once established in these, it deludes the embodied Atma by veiling its wisdom, veils it, covers it up. First, calm becomes a friend, and then it destroys the Atma from within, just like termites eats a house up. The mana, buddhi, and 10 senses are the helpers of Atma. They're supposed to help Atma, just like king has got his courtesans and all the people, all the army supporting him. These work for Atma, that's what they're supposed to work. However, when calm, which is hidden within us, all of us, takes the control of these means senses, man and buddhi, it instigates them to commit sinful acts. See? Calm is not coming from outside, it's within. It's residing within. And then it instigates. Once it gets power and come up, then it instigates people to commit sin. It does this by covering the jnana. So the buddhi, which was purified by jnana, ceases to follow the jnana. Since it has no access to the jnana, calm has covered it up. Now the buddhi becomes devilish, asuri buddhi, and works according to whatever vasana develops and deludes the Atma. So whatever vasana develops in our mind, that's what buddhi supports it. That's what, because it doesn't know any better. A jnani has to constantly be on the lookout for calm, because even a little misstep results in the emergence and awakening of calm within him. So what one should do? The question comes, knowing all this, what should we do? So Bhagavan says,
तस्मात् त्वमिन्द्रियाण्यादौ नियम्य भरतर्षभ पाप्मानं प्रजहीहेनं ज्ञानविज्ञाननाशनम्.
Bhagavan tells Arjun, therefore, therefore, you should first exercise control on senses. Rein in your senses. Make them do what they are supposed to do. Yado indriyan niyamya. After you have achieved this, then move this great sinner, the calm, away from you. Prajahi enam. Without that, without exercising control on senses, you cannot move the calm away from you. Because senses are the one which do all the work. It is a great sinner because it develops jnana, it destroys jnana and vijnana both. Here we should know that jnana and vijnana cannot be destroyed. They are indestructible. They cannot be destroyed. So all the calm can do is to cover jnana. Keep jnana away from the jeev. And as said in Shlok 40. So here Bhagavan is telling Arjun that once you have control on your senses, move this great sinner calm away from you. This can only be achieved through jnana. In chapter 2, Shlok 55, Bhagavan says, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parth manogatan. Arjun, in which time one thoroughly casts off all craving and desires of the mind. Similarly, here, prajahi enam, prajahi hi enam means that renounce the calm. You don't destroy, you can't destroy calm. Renounce it. Later, once you are well established in Gyan as a sthit prajna, then if it shows up, let it show up because it's not going to bother you. If one destroys calm, he falls into Buddhist philosophy or under the teaching of Shankaracharya. According to them, once you have Gyan, you should leave sansar. But the householder needs calm. It is calm which helps one to complete their karma. And the calm means desire to finish certain karma, help people, get more Gyan. It's all kamna. And this is, and in this chapter, this chapter is dealing with what? Karma Yoga. However, one needs to regulate and control calm by keeping it at bay. In Karma Yoga, you have to have calm. You cannot do karma without calm. So, which is needed, but you keep it at bay, away from you, while you are pursuing your goal. When you are on the path of Gyan or become a sannyasi, then remove it completely, since it is a foe of Gyan. So here two things happen. Once you are in sansar, you cannot destroy calm. Arjun was in sansar. So Bhagavan says, keep calm at bay. Don't let it interfere in your karma. But once you achieve Gyan, you become Gyani, and you take sannyas. Sannyas means you leave everything away, get away from everything. Then that automatically you have killed the calm. When you want to do anything, don't need to do anything, then calm is dead. Calm doesn't apply to you. Now the question arises as to how can calm be removed? Because in the sloka, Bhagavan says, remove the calm. There are two ways to achieve this. Do not let calm anywhere close to your buddhi. Keep your buddhi clean. Don't let it get close to calm. For this, leave everything and everyone and live in jungle. That's one way. And the second way is follow the teachings of Bhagavan Krishna. That is Karma Yoga. While performing the karma in sansar, remove the calm away from you. Keep it away from you. That's what Bhagavan teaches in Karma Yoga. People say that the Kali Yuga, calm is all around us and they cannot exercise control over it. But Bhagavan says otherwise. He explains this in the next shloka.
Indriyani paranyahuhu indriyebhyah param manaha manasastu para buddhihi yo buddhev paratastu saha.
Bhagavan explains that senses are superior and more powerful than the body. See, senses have sense. That's why they are called senses. They can sense. They can see. They can hear. So they are more powerful. Body cannot do anything. Body cannot see. Body cannot do. It's the only senses which see. Eyes will look at something, but the sense, the power of sense is what makes you see something. If that power is not there, you can have most beautiful eyes, you won't see anything. So, senses have the power of Devata. Now these senses have power of Devata of the Swarga. Very high power. Eyes have the power of Surya, sun. Man has the power of Chandrama. They are all devatas of the Swarga. So senses have great deal of power. Man has a great deal of power. Body is just a form in which these senses reside. And the mind is beyond these senses. So first is Indriyahi Paran. Here, Indriya are above the sharir, the body, or the vishay of the object of the senses. Indriya are much better, much bigger. And beyond Indriya is our mind, man. Mind is beyond these senses. Mind has power of higher devatas, beyond Swarg. The intellect or the buddhi is beyond mind. It has got a lot more power. And Bhagavan says, beyond buddhi is sah, or the Atma. People say Atma. Shankaracharya and Gyandev, they have said it to be the Atma. However, since karma covers the buddhi, the kam will cover the buddhi, and here the topic is of the karma yoga. It is what is meant here. What is meant here? It is sa means kam, not atma. The true meaning of sa here is kam, because kam is above intellect. It covers the intellect, covers the buddhi. Whatever you may say, atma or karma or kam, the ego is beyond both of these. Ahankar, ego is beyond all of this. Having explained this, now Bhagavan concludes the whole thing in the next shlok.
Evam buddhev param buddhva samstabhyatmanam jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam.
Arjun's question was that why one engages in sinful act against his will and knowing that it is sin. Bhagavan says, knowing that kam is beyond buddhi, evam buddhe param buddhva. Just in last shlok we saw sa means kam. So knowing that kam is beyond the intellect, beyond buddhi, more powerful, that's the only reason kam can cover that buddhi or gyan in the buddhi. Control kam, control it. Sanstabhya means exercise control over it. So control with what? Atmana, atmana. Atman, atmanan, atmana. Your atma with your atma. Control it. How? You control your atma with your atma. Here atmanam means the mind or the man. So here atmanam means man. Control your mind. And atmana means buddhi. So control your mind with your buddhi, because buddhi is beyond mind. Buddhi is more powerful than mind. So you can control. The desire develops in our consciousness or the chit. So the kam develops within, not from outside. Therefore, when the buddhi will control and stop the mind, the kam will be destroyed. You follow now? Buddhi has got to exercise control over man. It's got to control the mind because it is more powerful than the mind. So if you can have your buddhi exercise control over your mind, kam will disappear. Kam will not be able to put his ugly head up. Now here one will know that the path he is on is wrong. When this happens, as soon as the buddhi takes over the control over of mind, immediately a person knows that whatever path he is going is wrong. Because buddhi is now telling him this is wrong. What tells him this? His buddhi. Which buddhi? Question comes. You say buddhi is covered by calm. Now what buddhi will tell man, will control man? If it can be covered with calm, how can it control man? The buddhi powered with jnana, which is atmana. Atmana is the buddhi that is powered with jnana. And it will control atmanam. It will control man or mind. In chapter 2, Shlok 41, Bhagavan called this buddhi as Vyavasayika buddhi, or the determined and single-pointed intellect. That is the buddhi which is needed to exercise control on the mind and quench the calm, squash the calm. Here, mind and intellect both are Atma. One he says Atmanam, and other one was Atmana. Both are Atma. However, when this calm becomes unseizable, you cannot stop it, you cannot seize it, then what you should do to this foe? Jahi Shatrum. Then kill this foe. So first, try to rein in the calm, and once it cannot be reined, it's gone so awkward, you destroy it. So Bhagavan says first to bring it under control, sanyam, and when it becomes unseizable, then kill it, get rid of it. Now how do you get rid of it? That's what we saw before. Sannyas. That is the only way you can get rid of the calm, kill it. It will not rise in there because the buddhi of sannyasi is full of jnana. It feeds on jnana only. So here the emphasis on buddhi, which is endued with jnana. So the bottom line is jnana, has always been. In second chapter also, sthit pragya means whose buddhi, his pragya is sthit, means situated in what? In jnana. That's why it becomes vyavasayik buddhi. Here the same thing. Once you have jnana, your buddhi becomes more powerful and it can exercise control over the mind and keep calm at bay or even destroy it. Because calm is the foe of Atma. It tatsati Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Supnishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yog Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Karma Yogo Nam Tratiyo Adhyaya. So the third chapter is now complete. I hope it helped people. And next meeting we will do most likely in March. We'll give enough time for people to study the first 3 chapters. They are very important to understand. And then we will start from chapter 4 in March. Jai Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna Arpan.